Hey everyone. So like last week, we had a little guest Rolf who was Rolf Grayson. And today I'm gonna continue that, my version of, where it left off and see where it needs to go to evolve the pattern and or the way she feels. And also, just to rehash, sorry I'm blinking so much. She had braces for a long time, and then they started creating issues, and then she had a permanent retainer removed, so we're evolving all that. Anyway, that's it. So we're gonna get her on the table and see where it goes. Okay, so the first thing, I'm not really worried about her other structure stuff. This has got my attention, this has got her attention, and so I'm just gonna feel what's going on. And in full disclosure, I forgot to start the camera 5 minutes ago whenever I first started feeling of it. So, the thing that I feel is she's got this temporal bone's forward, this one's pushed a little back, and one's a little more in internal rotation, one's a little more in external rotation. Her cranial rhythm is okay. It's a little, when she goes into the widening format, the right side rocks forward, the left side doesn't. When she goes into the drain phase, the right side falls back, or left side falls back and the right side doesn't. So she's got some funky things going on. I feel tightness in her back of her occiput right in here. She's real tight in this occipital protuberance, and I can feel the asymmetry in the tissue. But given that she's had this retainer and she's had some work to free some things up, and like last week she had a bunch of rib work, the thing that really gets my attention is when I put my hands on her and her cranial rhythm is working, is that everything feels stretched this way. She feels pulled like this. Like everything, it feels like everything needs to come in here so it can have more balance. She just feels really pulled tight inside her head, top to bottom. So let's just see what we got. And when I play with her motion, like she kind of goes into extension, all right, I'm magnifying what the cranial rhythm's doing with my hands right at the moment. So she doesn't really want to go into flexion. When she gets wider, she goes into extension, okay. And I feel this stuff kind of go along with it. And when she drain phase gets narrow, what happens is she kind of wants to, her head won't go that way. She does it in her pelvis. She torques her pelvis like that. So let's just hang out here and see what we can get. And immediately, I'm just gonna play with all this. And I'm holding her head, but I'm not using a tremendous amount of pressure. And the other thing I feel is, there's the fill phase of the cranium. And I always get confused on flexion extension, so I just fill phase, drain phase. And so her head's getting bigger, wider, open it up. And what I feel her sphenoid do is I feel it drive real hard to the right, going across. And then there's the drain phase. And then what happens is, instead of the sphenoid coming back to the left, it just starts to do this and rotate downward. It's so as she fills up, it pushes over to the right. And as the drain phase, instead of it kind of self-correcting, it just goes like this. So her sphenoid's going, it goes a little bit, but it mostly wants to do this. And I feel that deep internal tension in her head when I feel into it all. It's like deep inside her head, it starts swimming like this, along with the cranial rhythm. So that if I follow the cranial rhythm, she gets a real big fill phase on the right, and then it drains. Nothing on the left. But then as it reaches a certain drain spot, then the left side wants to compress even more. So the whole left side of the head sort of pushed into this pattern. And if I take her into it, when she does, okay, there's the fill phase, coming out a little bit. Now it's starting to change. And then as it drains, yeah, if I push her back the other way, there we go. So I'm kind of barriering what's happening, but at the same time, I'm just coaxing it into doing something a little different instead of just oscillating around its fixed points. And now she wants to go this way. I mean, people will have an unlimited number of these little variations of how they get around things. And see, now I feel this phenoid when I take her over here, when her head goes up, I feel it rocking backwards, which it should do, or one this way. And I feel it coming to the left, and then it drains. And there we go. Now her sphenoid's starting to, it tried to jam up on the right, tried to come up on the right, but it didn't let it. And like I said, I'm not using a lot of pressure. I'm just kind of touching the bones and making contact and touching the skin. Now I feel it trying to change up here in the top of her head where it feels pulled, up, where my thumbs are. So let's just see what happens here. Okay, here we go. And I felt her whole body just go down a notch. And when I say down, I mean, I felt like the volume just turned. Okay, now the whole head's gonna shift this way as it's filling up. There's the end, the fill phase. And there the drain phase is getting closer to the fill phase. It's getting, and there's the fill phase again real quick. There's the drain phase. So we're in a faster rhythm here. Some may call it a whole different rhythm, but we don't, it doesn't matter. I can feel a different part of it. They're all trying to kind of catch up. And there we go. And now I feel that sphenoid doing this thing again. It's going down and up. There's the fill phase right there. And then the drain phase, it wants to just torque like that over on this side. Both sides can't do the same thing. This, I'm gonna pull up on this one, the fill phase, the sphenoid. I'm gonna hold it, there it goes. So I'm just holding it up. You know, here's the thing about cranial work is that there's you can't use any more than 5 grams of pressure theory. Okay, yeah, that's one. Then there's direct manipulation. And then there's somewhere in between. There's direct, indirect, bossy direct. But in her case, a lot of times bodies like sustained pressure. And when I say sustained pressure, I don't mean it has to be a tremendous amount, but they like to feel it and feel the little bit of pressure. And then it gives the body a different frame of reference to play with, to come talk to you from, to relate to it. There we go. Now see, a big change has happened. And all I'm doing is following her cranial pulse in the pattern. There we go. Now I feel the whole right zygomat, sphenoid, parietal bone, temporal bone, everything's just starting to drift down toward her feet. And there comes the left side, starting to unscrew. You can see my hands starting to turn. And all I'm doing is just hanging on to it. I'm kind of helping it a little bit, but not really. I'm just right there at the edge of the wave with it. There's the fill phase. Now see, it's doing this independently of the cranial pulse at the moment. There we go. And now it's gonna go back and kind of catch up with the cranial pulse. There it goes, there it goes. We're in the drain, fill phase. There we go, there we go. Now we're in the drain phase, Fill phase, there it goes. Now I feel her whole body catching up with all this. I can feel her legs rolling out in that fill phase. And then there we go, I feel everything rolling in. It feels like the right side does a little better job than the left, which would make sense, since the left side of the cranium was the one having trouble. There's their left jaw coming up, and there we go. Now the whole thing's just wanting to go this way as it fills up, and then it drained, and it went further into the pattern. And now it's gonna fill up. There we go. Now I feel the top, her head, the cranial part here, trying to get, as it drains, the bony portion's trying to squeeze, trying to squeeze the fluid out. There they go. So I'm helping them along. Just give them a little bit of like, okay, yeah, I feel what you want to do. Let me just nudge you and help you. And there we go. And what's happening, sorry, my hand's shaking. What's happening is I feel as this draining effect is trying to take place underneath the fact that she's still doing flexion and extension in her cranial rhythm, fill phase, drain phase. I feel that super taut head to toe pattern in her head, top to bottom, I should say. Actually, I'm realizing it's not so much it's pulled apart. Oh man, I can't talk. Too much space there. Is that it just needs to organize around it in a different way. And now it's starting to go together a little bit more. Sorry for the stuttering. I'm really in deep concentration here. There we go. And now I feel the midline trying to figure out what to do. It's making this little wiggly snake movement down through her body. There it goes, strain phase all coming together. And there's not a whole lot of frontal bone movement when this is happening. It's moving some, but not a lot. Just her body really, I can feel it want that little bit of contact pressure when I'm just pushing my hands together a little bit. I'm not pushing down, I'm not pushing sideways, I'm just pushing it like I'm just grabbing her head and squeezing it a little bit like a basketball. And when I say a little bit, I mean I'm very little. Just putting, it's like not even probably the amount of pressure to pick up a cup, but I can feel it. That's what it wants right there. There we go. Now, fill phase, look at that, that's a big one moving. Now it's getting a wave, drain phase. There it goes, a little further in. There it comes out. And this sort of makes sense in the scheme of things because she had a gap between her teeth that got pulled together. So there's almost a gap all the way from where her teeth up to her palate up into her frontal bone here. It's trying to fill it in. At least that's my delusional story about it. And there we go. Now this part of the frontal bone starting to want a little pressure. So I put a little on it. Still following the pulse. There it goes. Now it's kind of tying itself to the respiratory mechanism. There it goes. So as the fill phase is coming, then the drain phase, and there's that squeezy motion. It wants to, it's almost like I'm squeezing the juice out of the front bone bits. It just wants that. There it goes. Just a sustained pressure, not like push real hard. I've just got sustained pressure. There we go. Now I feel the frontal bone starting to open up. Wow, look at that. Now it's getting caught up with the rest of the cranial rhythm. There we go. So it's filling, 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 draining, 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 draining. But the draining is not happening as much. It's almost stiff. It's like the drain's clogged right here or something. Or there's not enough fluid here, fortunately. There we go. Now I feel it filling up. So there's the fill phase, and there goes her frontal bone rocking. And then it's kind of just staying there, at a little still point for a second. And there it goes. There's the drain phase. Oh, nice. Yeah, I know this is probably a boring video to sit and watch, but what I want you to get is that paying attention goes a long way and not getting caught up and I just gotta, okay, now her whole head wants to do something here. Is it's switching over to another little, her whole head wants to turn this way, and me side bend it a little. Now I feel it getting stuck. And I'm just gonna bend her. It doesn't want to go. Oh, here it is. It wants to do that. There it is. Now it's kind of just wants to hang out there and run its cycle. There we go. There's this whole right side coming down. There's the left side starting to come back around. As it's filling, it's turning to the right, and then it just drained and it stopped a little. Now it's filling up and it's turning to the right, and it just drained a little. And it's filling up again and turning to the right. Now it's draining, 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 phase, drain, phase, drain, phase. And then it just drained out right there. Now we're in the fill phase again. It's just waiting. Okay, I feel the impulse of it. It's trying to figure out what to do. When I say it, could be like the innate or body's response to all this. And there we go. Now there's the fill phase on both sides, and what it's doing is taking her into extension. A little bit of rotation to the right. Now it wants to do this little fill up, drain. Fill up. Oh, that's draining, but it's going like this. It's filling up, and then it's draining. So we're filling up in extension, kind of draining in a flexion pattern. There it goes, drain, 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 drain. Now it's filling up, draining. Filling up. Now it's starting to get more of a rotation. Drain. There we go. Fill phase, drain phase. And I know they got the speedy rhythm, the mid-tide, the long tide. Someone could say at the moment I'm just fooling around with the primary respiratory, whatever it's called now. But I'm aware of those other two in there, and they're more just hiding in the background going, yeah, this is what needs to happen. There we go. Now there's a drain phase way over here. There's the fill phase. It picks her into a little bit of extension. Drain phase. So now it's got everything's gotten really short and shallow. It's like in, out, fill, drain. But I feel the longer tides in there. I feel the bigger impulse. Okay, the bigger impulse is now trying to come in and have a little conversation. And it's drain, 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 drain. There's our occiput getting smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. And then I feel it getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And it's still getting bigger. But I feel the other little impulses too. I bring my attention back to them. Drain, fill, drain, fill. There's this rocking motion. On top of or underneath this bigger, there we go, the bigger pattern, which is now still in a filling phase. And it's still filling with the other little pattern, the other little stuff going on top of it. In, out, in, out. And that's more tied to her breathing a little bit. There we go. Now it's still filling. There's a little bit of drain, and then it filled right back, the longer one. There we go. Now it's starting to come online with us. There it goes. It's talking to us. It's filling on one side. There it goes. There it goes. And then it drained. Now it's draining. And it stopped. And then it's filling up. Actually, more on the right than the left. And there it goes. There we go. And as it fills up, it's turning her head to the left. There we go. or something is. I don't know if that's what's turning her head to the left. And all of a sudden I just get this, I feel this stuff up here trying to get engaged with the rest of the process. And we're still in that fill phase on the right occiput. There it goes. Now we're in a drain phase on the left side. There it goes. Now the right side's draining out. Now they're getting into kind of a fill, drain, but a shorter throw, Primary respiratory mechanism, I think is what it's called. But I could be wrong about that. And now I feel her whole head wanting to just squeeze in as it drains. There it goes. Now it's filling up and it's pushing out and it's squeezing in. And I'm squeezing it just a teeny bit, giving it a little bit of pressure so that it goes, oh yeah, there we go, there we go, there we go, there we go. Now I feel everything starting to sort of reorganize. And she's wanting to come over here. Gotta be semi-careful, not in the sense that you'll injure somebody, but it's really easy to take it a direction it doesn't really want to go. You gotta just really kind of pay attention when you feel it want to do an impulse and just go with it and try to tie it into something else. Like right now, I feel her back, the right side of her head, temporal bone and occiput wants to drop down. But it's going along with the drain phase of her cranial rhythm. Now the left side's wanting to go into extension. And then there's the fill phase, and there we go. And they're continuing to do the same thing during both those phases. There we go. And then it turned a little bit. There we go. There we go. And this is really interesting, the fact that I'm feeling how all these little pieces have their little, now she's in a drain phase, but she's going, there it goes, into extension, there we go. Now I feel the whole nature of the pulse becoming more aggressive. It's not really the right word, but it's stronger. It's like, yeah, let's move this stuff around. And this is what it's doing, it's filling up, now it's draining, and it's gonna turn, then immediately it starts to fill and come this way. And that's draining, and it's taking her here. It's still, there it goes, there's the fill phase, taking her back the other way. Now I'm not saying, I may be crazy, I may not even be feeling this, I could be making it up. But that's what my interpretation of what's going on. Now, some people might call this unwinding or different things like that. I'm not barriering anything, so to speak. I'm just following the cranial rhythm and letting whatever's happening do it in conjunction with, so that things are formulating a coherent as possible rhythm in the body with movement. Like I'm saying, you could possibly look at it as tuning the two together. Now there's her breathing pattern again right there. I feel her inhale and exhale as these temporal bones are starting to unlock some more. There we go. Now all this is really tied into her spine. I can feel it, and I feel that deep cranial urge to like push these temporal bones in this sideways and that occiput backwards. There it goes. It's a very, I would suspect, it's like you would look at water that doesn't look to be moving fast, but there's so much volume, you can't resist it. It just takes you. It's not like you look at it and go, wow, this is moving fast. It has that feel to it, to me, like it's just a volume that wants to happen. There it goes. And there's her current, there's her occiput starting to slide on the atlas. See, she's going into flexion now. And then it's not draining, it's just backing off a little bit, and then immediately there's all that volume. And then it backs off a little bit, and then right back into that volume of pressure, energy, whatever you want to say, that impulse. It's an impulse. It just has a lot of, to me, volume in it versus just intense pressure. Yeah, now her head's starting to turn and she's not really, there's a drain phase right there. It's gonna turn her. And now it's backed up into more of just a lighter impulse. It's just more like a normal cranial pulse. There it goes, where it's filling and draining and filling. And right there's the fill phase. There's the drain phase. Fill phase, drain phase. And it's got her turn. It's going to turn her some more. And I don't take her a direction I want it to go. I just follow it. And that's not really the best description because I'm kind of like right with it. I feel the impulse of it wanting to go that way, so I take it further into itself. And then as it starts to back out, I feel another piece trying to back out of it. I don't allow the piece to back out the same way, which is indirect. But I'm going by the impulses of what's happening. There it goes, there it goes, there it goes, there it goes. Nothing new, man. Nothing new, people. Nothing new. Just pay attention, paying attention, paying attention. Now I feel all of it starting to come up in this. Now she's got a big fill happening. And it's putting her here. And then it drains out. All right, yeah. And I'm not using a lot of pressure. I'm just holding her in that pattern. There it goes, right there. There it goes. Now I feel this inside her head. More of like the meninges where they come up through the, start making up the brain covering. Now it's going into that big push again. Lots of volume building. There's the drain phase, but it's not a crazy drain. It's just a little bit, and then immediately it's filling up. And I don't even know if it's fluid. It feels more almost just like an impulse of the tissues. And there it goes. Now it's going to drain, but immediately fill up. Drain, immediately fill back up. There it goes. See, it's pulling me around right now. I'm just going with it. There we go. There, the parietals are lifting and turning. And as you notice, I'm not getting hung up on like, oh, this parietal has to do this has to do that. Because I mean, my view of things is that there can be things going on within that one bone that need to address themselves within that context, not just the context of the whole. And you know, I'm just following it and talking, sorry, but there we go. There's a big drain going down now. That's it. See, it's untwisting a lot of stuff. There it goes. And it stopped. Still point. Big fill coming right there. Whole back of her head's untwisting. And I feel that going into where that retainer was. There it goes, there it goes. And see, I'm not pushing, I'm just hanging out with it. Hanging out, hanging out, hanging out. There it goes, big fill, big fill, big fill, drain. Big fill, big fill, big fill. And the drain is almost like just a let off. It's almost like you got a garden hose running full speed, then you just crimp it, and then you let it run full speed, and then you crimp it. So it's not really draining. There we go, there we go. Draining. It's just pushes and then it crimps. Pushes and then it crimps. There we go, it's coming out. And I'm just hanging out with it, and then there it goes. As for fulcrums on things, I go with it. And now I feel, there we go, there we go, there we go, there we go. See, now the frontal bone's turning to the right, but the base of the head's turning to the left. Is that right? Or left, I don't know. But I'm pretty certain that if it was wrong, it wouldn't be happening. Or she would be at this point going, what the heck's going on? And it's still doing it. Now, the reality of it is it's not, but it is. Like, there we go. There we go. Now, if the whole head just wants me to push down on it a little. So I'm giving her just a little bit of downward pressure, and there it went. It's like, oh, and it's using that as a fulcrum to move. There you go. Stuff's happening pretty quick now, so I'm trying to talk about it. And there's a still point right there. And I just felt this level of calmness happen. Maybe it was me, but I felt it in her body. It just went, oh. Mm-hmm. Somebody turned the volume down slightly. And now what I feel is the whole body's engaged in that cranial rhythm again. The whole thing. Fill, fill, fill. Drain, 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 drain. Fill, fill, fill. Drain. It's very smooth now. It feels like I'm pouring liquid out of her. And then it's filling up. It's back to that less voluminous movement. And I can feel the cranial bones. There's the temporal bones rocking out and rolling forward as it fills up. And occiput doing this little rocking. There's the parietal bones widening out, lifting. You can feel the frontal bone. There's the drain phase, frontal bones falling back. It's rocking forward on the fill phase. I feel the sphenoid doing much better. But I still feel some of the deep stuff deep in here. And I'm just gonna give it a moment. I'm gonna leave my hands on here and see if it wants to play. And yeah, there's a little bit, but what I feel is this stuff right at the very top. It's like, you know, this gap. I almost feel like there's a gap in the sutures up here. I don't think that's the case, but I'm gonna just put my hands there, right about where the frontal bone hits the parietals. I think that's called the sagittal suture. Oh, there it is. Well, they want a little squeeze. I'm gonna squeeze them together, just a little. Just a little. I'm giving them a little love to squeeze them together. There they go. And now it's using that. I can feel that deep urge, for lack of a better way to say it, of this stuff to do something with it. There it goes. And it's not part of the cranial rhythm, because there's the fill phase, there's the drain phase. I can feel that going on while I'm holding this, and it's taking what I'm giving it, or it wants, and it's using it. Now it's going down her back with it. There it goes, there it goes. Now it's going to move her. And it wants a little downward pressure, so I'm pushing toward her feet now, just a little bit on that spot. There it goes, there it goes, there it goes, there it goes. Okay. It's not about the cranial rhythm. It's doing something different. There we go. They're actually kind of coming apart. And then they're going to squeeze together. So they got their own little universe going right here. Her two parietal bones and her frontal bone right there at that intersection. The parietal bones want to squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Oh, this is where she got sucked with that little sucky thing when she was being born and had that big hematoma on your head. And it's pulling in, pulling in, pulling in, pulling in, pulling in. And now it's got that big volume of push outward. And it's going in, going in, going in, going in, going in. And there's a big volume of push outward. And it's sucking itself in. And there's a big push. Now it's pushing harder on the right than left. Now it's pushing back on the left and the right. It's back and forth, right, left, right, left, right, left. There we go. There's both sides. Now I'm keeping the pressure on, but I'm letting it move under me. There we go. There we go. There it goes. It's coming, coming, coming. There's the right side. There's the left side. They're going back in. Left side's getting kind of pissed and angry about There. Now see, I feel the left side tied into her arm and her hip and her leg and everything. The whole left side, how it's got this odd little disorganized pattern going on down through. There it goes. Going in. And now it's using that energy. It's pushing back on me. Oh, now it's coming out. But I feel the shape of that little thing they put on babies' heads just to pull them out when they're being born. And I've worked on a lot of kids that have had a lot of little scar tissue, not a lot, a lot, which is up on top of their head here. And there we go. Now it's unturning, it's unlocking, and I feel it starting to open. Oh, so this consideration, you know, people come in, they got weird things, and I've found this on, I don't know how long they've been doing that way, but a lot of adults too, in their early 30s and stuff, and even older folks with forceps were pulled on their head. There we go, there we go, there we go. It's turning. See the head, I'm turning it physically, but that's what it wants. It's trying, it's like turning a rusty bolt or screw. It wants me to put that pressure on it that way, and I can feel it asking for that. There we go. Now it's coming undone. It's all starting to shift. I feel the movement in it. I'm still holding pressure on it, but it's what it wants. There, it wants me to squeeze it together somewhere and push it forward. So I'm pushing in and forward toward her frontal bone. There we go. I'm using more pressure now, but I got to get on it just right. There's the rest of it. There's the divot, so I can put my thumbs right in there. Not great if you got fucked up thumbs, but that's why it's good not to overuse your thumbs. You use them when you need them. Unfortunately, I don't listen to my own advice all the time. There we go. There we go. Now it's going. And see, there's that big volume of, oh, it's going to take her this way. Oh, and then back the other way. And yeah, there it goes, there it goes, there it goes, there it goes. Now I feel it all coming around. Oh, this makes a lot of sense. Yeah, I'm sure this is boring. Watch it over a few. But sometimes you got to stay with stuff, and sometimes you can't just fiddle with it. You know, there's always that argument, and I've heard it in a million different classes of don't try to manipulate. Then there's others that go, well, sometimes you got to manipulate. I'm kind of like, you do what the body's asking you to do. Pay attention, you know? If the directions to where you're going say turn left, turn left. Don't drive into the, just keep driving straight. And that's what we got to do. We have to listen, pay attention. Are you always right? No. But can you be more adaptive? Oh man, look at that. I hope that's coming through on the camera because you can see the crooked in that.
I feel it all in here.
There we go, 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 there we go. It's starting to change. Now I felt what's really interesting, in the absence of anything, it's like the cranial pulse just went weak. And that strong impulse just dropped off, and now I feel it building again. My thumbs can hold up. And I'm pushing in still. I might have to call it. Move on to something else. And I'm holding and oh, here we go, here we go, here we go. There's that impulse. Oh, I feel everything changing on that right there. Parietals coming up. That's part of what's holding her frontal bone in check and not letting it go into the drain phase. There we go. Anyway, and I get, sometimes you just have to get what you can get and move, you know, call it and go on to something, but That's not what I do a lot of times. I try to really take it till it decides it's done for the moment. And we haven't reached that spot. I feel it working toward it. And I feel it getting into the back of her head or occiput. I feel it into her face. I feel it into everywhere. And I'm still squeezing these bones together, even though I let off of them sometimes. I'm still keeping that tension. So her body's using it. There it goes. There it goes. There it goes. Her body's using that tension. I'm going to use my fingers. I can feel that, man. That is so crazy. This just right here.
That sucks.
And I'm keeping the tension. There it goes. There we go. Right there. And as it evolves, it wants a little more pressure. It wants more. It wants more. There we go. Now I'm going to have to hold her head up and do it. There it is, right there. And I'm pushing in on that. There we go. Wow. As it lets go, it's bringing her head up like that. I hope everybody can still see. I think it's all right. There we go. Now tuck your chin. That's it right there. Again, that's it. Let off. There it goes. There it goes. Okay, it's trying to come down in the back, so let your head drop, but keep your chin tucked. That's it. That's it. That's it right there. There it goes. I'm keeping it pushed together. There we go. There's that big impulse. It's lifting her up again, and now it's coming back down. So when I take it up, now let you try to take the back of your head toward the table. No, the back of your head. Go that way with it. Try to push into the table with the back of your head. Not up here, down here. There! That's it. I'm keeping them pushed together. There comes that left parietal bone out of there. Do it again. That's it right there. I'm keeping them pushed together. There they go. There's a process. I'm using pretty good pressure now, but I'm just feeding it to it. It's what it wants. There it goes. There it goes. There it goes. There it goes. She's coming. Okay, let off. Do it again. It wants what it wants right there. It wants the back of that head pushed into the table. There it goes. There it goes. And I'm keeping it pushed. There we are. Now it's starting to go. Yeah, that. Now see it's starting to rock itself. I'm not doing that. It's what it's doing. There it goes. I'm still pushing inward and forward. There. There. I'm getting to that point where I'm like, I can't hold on anymore. We're gonna stay with it. There, when it just did it, it did it, it did it, it did it, it did it. I felt it open up. Yeah, there. Now it's going into more of a, there's a fill, drain, or fill, there's a fill, there's a drain. It's doing it in this spot now. It's working. There we go. There we go. Drain, 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 drain. Yes. Now it's doing more of a normal type rhythm. Yeah, I like that a whole lot better. There's a sphenoid, all of it. Yes, I like that. Very nice. Let's see if we can get this. Come on, immediately. The jaw, mandible wants to come with us. Boy, I really feel that draining good now. Fill phase, fill phase, fill phase, drain phase, drain phase, drain phase. There's your jaw clenching crap right there. It's doing this right here. It goes one side to the other side, back and forth. Tight, 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 tight. There it goes. It's sort of rocking it back and forth, the tension pattern. I see that quite often, and I often wonder if it's just the body giving itself there. Momentary relief. There we go. There's the whole head part going. Now it's gonna rock this way. Yes. Oh, I like that much better. So that's more of a calmer overall pattern. I don't feel anything just jumping right out at me at the moment. Trying not to let my mind go wild and go, hey, I need to go back up here, because this feels better. It feels a lot better. And I feel it moving. But, you know, you think about it, this top of her head, you know, you got that sucky thing on there and they pull up on it. I mean, it's gonna yank everything up. I'm just gonna scrape that suture line a little bit with my fingernails, just a little, not really scrape, just poke at it. There it goes. Now I feel her sphenoid's doing a whole lot better all of a sudden. There's both sides of it. You see how we didn't get hung up in like, oh, I gotta do this, I gotta do that. We just followed the trail and we got somewhere. And I'm not saying, you know, I've had cranial classes, we've all, you know, so you learn, you take classes, you learn, but you don't make it the thing. Now, I feel her sphenoids, once that pressure on it, that inward pressure, and I'm just, now I feel it dancing around back and forth, so I'm putting a little pressure like that. And it's really sucking me in when I say the pressure. It's sucking my fingers to themselves, and there it goes, or to it. There we go. Ooh, look at that. That goes right to the top of your head. Ah, there's a, okay, I let go of my pressure accidentally. I got sucked into something else moving, and I took my pressure off, and it's not what I want. There we go. There we go. See, it wants a little more pressure. And now it's rocking back and forth between the pressure gradients from each finger. It's like, I can, there it goes. The left arm's shaking today. Sorry about that. You're good. Now it wants more pressure and it wants me to push harder. And there it goes. Ah, it just relaxed. Hey, feel that? Okay, now it wants me to push in again. Give it some pressure. I'm not pushing super hard. There we go, right there. I feel things drop away from it on each time and it moves. There we go. Yeah, now it's going into the whole movement. There it goes. Drain, drain, drain. Fill, 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 fill. Drain, 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 drain. Now what I feel is this spot right here wants a little pressure, but I don't know if my thumbs have it. We're gonna try it. We'll do it like this. We'll do a Jan so tan kind of thing. And I'll just, oh, I know that feels so good right there. I can feel it. I can tell that feels good. So I'm just applying pressure toward my palms with that, because I can feel now there's the frontal bone starting to dance. And it's literally like drinking the pressure. It's very interesting. Okay, here we go. But it's utilizing that energy we're giving it, putting into it. And that sustained momentum there it goes. Now I feel underneath the bone, it's doing cranial rhythm. Now there it goes. Now we're in a drainish fill phase. It's sort of flipping around back and forth, kind of. Yeah, there it goes. There. Now it's in a drain phase. It's in a drain phase. Then a fill phase right there. And a drain phase. And I've got that pressure on there, keeping it sustained. Oh, once more now. Here we go. I'm just holding the pressure. The birds are singing, they're like, yeah, more pressure, more pressure. But I didn't need more, it just wants what I got. That's the hard part, is keeping it sustained, because you'll let off and then you'll try to squeeze harder to make up for it. And I'm just keeping it, what in my mind is sustained, which I'm sure is, you know, fluctuating to some degree, but there we go. Now all of a sudden it wants more pressure and a little bit of a torque. And there it wants to go the other way. And I'm not resting my fingers much on her. I've just got that pressure. There we go. There it goes. There it goes. Now they're pushing back out on me and moving me. So there we go. Man, it wants more pressure. So I'm gonna just give it a little more pressure, and there it went. I felt it go. Ah, it's an ease off. Ease me off. Ease me off. Ah, there it comes. Let's see where we are. Okay, I like that. Fill, 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 fill. Drain, 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 drain. Fill, fill, fill. There it went. It just sort of normalized itself, and I feel the whole body incorporated into that. Oh, yeah, I like that. Now, I do feel something I want to do here in a sec. I want to set her up on the edge of the table and put her feet on the floor, and I want to do a little work on her palate. But the reason I want to do it, I might do it with her standing. I'll have to move the camera. There we go, right there. Look at that. Drain, drain, drain. Fill, fill, fill. Drain. There come those ears. Oh, that feels good right there too. Look at that. It just feels better. I don't feel things just doing this kind of stuff. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna let her down. Actually, I'm probably gonna do a pelvic lift on this. Let me move the camera. Hang on.
Can you pause it for a minute? So I
How
can
do you pause it?
use the bathroom.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead. I do a little pelvic lift on her. Little, this is me talking like I'm talking to the 2-year-old. But because it's part of the whole, we do this cranial work. I want to make sure everything's rolling down here, coming through, and she feels much lighter on the table. And all I'm gonna do is just let her sacrum rest in the palm of my hand, and immediately I feel it going like this, sideways, pulling way up on the right, and then it pulls way up on the right, and then it just drops. It pulls way up on the right, and there it goes, it's changing. So I wanted to get the flow back in it. You know, flexion, extension, the fill phase and drain phase. And there's the fill phase right there. It's dropping up. There's the drain. I feel it starting to hook into her head immediately. It's like, oh, yeah. There it goes. It's sliding toward me. And I'm thinking about the axis of the ilium's sacrum and the 2 ilia. And now it's going to tilt this way a little bit, and it's going to rock on the axis on the right a little more than the left. There's the left side coming along. There's the whole thing coming toward me. So we're just waiting for the system to, there it goes, it's figuring it out. There goes the whole thing. There go both iliums into out flare, and they're going into drain phase. Fill phase. There we go. There. You always want to make sure you kind of do this on folks, man, when they're doing some good stuff. A lot of times people do it after every session. I can't say that I don't do it after sometimes structural stuff. I will. But, well, this is all structural, but certainly if I do cranial work on them. And I've got some clients that just really enjoy it, so I do it. There we go. Now there's that jaw stuff right there. You feel that? Mm-hmm. Shifting back and forth in your jaw. That we were talking about that oscillation between tight one side and there, and there it goes. There's the whole thing coming with us now. Oh yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna do. So I'm gonna set her down. We're gonna set her up on the side of the table, get the camera moved over here. And we're gonna do some stuff to put this together. I want her feet on the floor. And I'm gonna come around here and do some magic. What the heck happened? Oh, we had that mess up doing that. And let's see, what I'm gonna do, I need to let her down some more.
I can scoot forward.
There, I don't want her too far down, but that'll work. And what we're gonna do, so I'm gonna get some gloves and then we're gonna, it's easier when I have a camera person kind of making these, but you know, this is the way it is in your office. You gotta just do it
Just
live in real time, just like those live cop shows. You see people being dumb. It's funny. Anyway, so what I'm gonna do here is use a glove I dropped on the floor. Make sure I use the one in her mouth I dropped on the floor. And I'm trying to get this camera right. Okay. I'm gonna try to I'm gonna use her spine, her body, all her little mechanisms here, this work we just did.
Do we need to move the, is it a good angle?
I
Okay.
think people can see me. And I'm gonna put my thumb on the roof of her mouth, not my thumb, my finger on it. See, there's what the retainer was doing. See, that's that push backwards her head was wanting to do. I'm just taking it to where it feels like neutral, and there it is right there.
Yeah.
And what I thought I was gonna find was a bunch of palate stuff, but not. What I found is this stuff is real tight here. Her, under her nose and everything. I'm gonna hold her head, and what I want her to do, oh, here it comes. It's already trying to figure out what to do. There's that rotation. We're gonna take her this way. It wants to go this way. I might have to use 2 fingers. Okay, there we go. Now, I'm gonna have her shift her pelvis toward me, and then back, like that. Yeah, that's it, her spine. Oh my gosh, look at this. Feel all that craziness in there? There it goes, there it goes. It's gonna turn forward more. Now we're gonna go, okay, now it's gonna come this way, right here. And it's gonna be real hard for me to say what's stuck and what's not, what I'm doing, but I'm pulling a lateral on her left side of her. There it goes, there it goes. And it's turning. It's real tight in the back toward her soft palate. There we go. There we go. Now she's gonna drop back. That's it. And what I'm doing is I'm using her spine as a little bit of a long lever here, and then her tuberosities as her feet, because I don't think I could do this with her standing. There we go, because I couldn't follow. There it goes. Here it comes. Here it comes. Here it comes. Coming forward, turning. You all right? Let me know if your neck or something starts to hurt. And there it goes, right there. Hello. And now she's gonna go and extension. See, this is following a lot of the pattern that was going on in her head too, but I didn't feel so much this until right at the end. There we go. If we don't have that head going the right way, none of it's gonna go the right way, right? I'm resting her head on me. I'm just playing with it. Oh, hello, look at that. Let me drop back, drop your pelvis back, slouch. That's it. Now rock forward with your pelvis. That's it. And back and forth, just like that. See, that's what's going on. There it goes, there it goes, there it goes, there it goes. There goes your head. Wow, look at that coming out. It's coming my way. Coming over here. Lean forward a little. Rock your pelvis back. There it is. Wow, that's amazing. There we go. And I'm right where the soft and the hard palate kind of join up. I'm not crazy pressure, you know. I'm just kind of pushing it. I've got my finger on it and I'm following it around. That's what it wants to do. Wow, this is nuts. Okay. There we go. I'm letting you see this. It's like a horror movie here. I can't wait for something to come out of here. You know, this is crazy. This is what's going on, and I'm telling you, I've done things like with clients, and they're like over the moon a lot of times because they're like, "Oh my God, that's that thing that I've known. There's something there," or they'll like, "This is I want to lay like I wish somebody could stick a tire iron in my throat and push backwards on my vertebra or something." And you're like, "What?" Okay. Gee. I don't think I can get away with that. Let's go. There we go. Now I just felt the cranial pulse push. There's that big push. Oh my gosh. I gotta get down here and get a hold of it again. It's taking her back. You notice how I remember it was doing this? There it comes. There it comes. Man, is that being born or what? There it comes. It's just, it goes back, and then I'm just pulling it forward just a little bit, using it, letting it use my finger. There it goes. There we go. There we go. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. There we go. I'm not trying to overdo anything. There we go. Now she's gonna come forward. Yeah, come on, reach through there with your tongue, like the back of your throat. Let it come out. There you go. Hope we all can still see this, because I didn't expect this. And there we go. See, that's what everybody wants to get right there.
Yeah.
There's the problem. There we are. Look at this. Now we're getting some wave. Oh, yeah, now we're getting some wave. Man, come this way. Come with me. Come on, you can do it. That's it right there. I'm pulling her forward and just letting the palate, that roof of that mouth open. There it goes, there it goes, there it goes. Now you feel how you're backing off of it? Your whole body's backing out of that. Wow. I might have to pull the camera out there. Ah, there we go. There, got it. Okay, I just felt it get to a resting spot, point, whatever the heck you want to call it. Wow. I think they missed all the good stuff. Anyway, they get the general idea. How's that feel? Tired? Set it out. Wait, that needs to set it out. Lay down. Yeah, just let it go. Feel that energy moving. That's it. Let it go. It's okay. Let it out. You want to lay down? You don't have to, just lay. And this too is common. Not common, but people can let go. And then I just felt it all shift and she grounded herself. And you don't have to do anything when something like this happens, you know, be there, be present, let the person process it. Yeah, you alright? Yeah, it's going. And I'm gonna just check her head with this real quick, just with her sitting, because there's no reason I could lie her back down. Oh no, you stay, keep your feet on the floor. I just want to feel, yeah, okay, it feels real good. Everything's moving. I don't feel any goofiness. I feel that palate moving around a little bit for us. You know, then I do feel like I need to bump that thing again just quickly. I feel a little something wanting to go some more, so let's, okay, just a quick check, see what's going on. And this is kind of how I roll with things, you know, sometimes it's might be done, and then other times it might be like, you know, hey, this needs something else, and I'll ask the person, hey, you feel okay with another touching? If they say no, good, done. If they say, yeah, I feel something, then we'll just check. And that's way less of this. Mm-hmm. Now, this is what I feel. It's doing this right here. You feel that? Now let your pelvis rock you. You rock forward, yeah, that way. Now drive your, that's it. See, that's what you're not doing. There it is, I got it. We're gonna come forward, back, just tilt back, and then bring your pelvis forward. That's it, and you just keep it going. I got this. There's the head. It's starting to go. You keep the pelvis going. Keep the pelvis going. Because as soon as this started to move, she stopped. She locked her pelvis up. There it goes. There we go. And all I'm doing is holding the roof of that. Oh man, that midline, and I'm poking it a little bit and playing with the tissue and the bones. There they go. Now we're getting them to rock. Now, oh, here we go. Come with me. Tilt your pelvis to make it happen. That's it. Now drop it back. And then tilt forward again and come to this point. There it goes. Drop it back. And see, there's our new foot. There we go. Now our head's coming up. I feel it starting to rock underneath. Now she's going this way. Keep rocking that pelvis. There you go. There it goes. Ah, there they come. There it comes. There it comes. Come with me. Tilt the pelvis. There you go. There you go. You got it. Now drop it back. I'm making her a fixed point. There it comes. It's coming some more. I'm pulling her head up too much. There we go. There. Drop it back. And then rock. There you go. Back and forth. There it comes. There's the twist coming out of it. Right. There it goes. There it goes. There it goes. There, now it's starting to wave out of there. Oh my gosh, look at that. Boom, there it went. Did you feel it go? Now she's going all over. Does that feel better? It feels more completed to me. Now, you just want to walk around?
Do you want me to walk?
It's up to you, or you can lay down and I'll check your head again or something. I mean, I think you're in a good spot. Just put it together. You don't even have to. I'm just gonna stop it. Go ahead. So we got Grace and we let her move around a little bit and get it together. Now she's walking, but this looks a lot better. That's when to end this. We're not on a note where we're actually, but you know, to me, this just, she looks like she needs to go lay down for 22 hours, but there's just a completeness to it now in my mind. And what I feel, I mean, she's walking okay, she's doing good. She didn't really, you know, move weird ways or anything, but you know, now we got this head stuff evolved. Sorry, I turned the camera, and she just looks really tired. But anyway, I guess that would be the end of things. So I appreciate everyone. How do you flip it around?
Oh.
I guess.
No, you're good. Keep it where it is.
Well, yeah, I wanted to say something.
Oh, I'll do you.
I just wanted to say, hey, I know that was probably extremely boring to watch, but that's sometimes what you got to do. And I just wanted people to see, like, that's real time. I didn't do anything. It's not, I didn't need fancy schmancy edits or anything like that. Just, this is what it takes to do this gig. And, you know, however long it takes, feedback, you want to say something, ask a question, let me know. And all right, there you go, man. Appreciate it.